Hi guys, welcome to today's QGIS tutorial lesson 26. In this video, we'll learn about flow maps in QGIS. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so that you can get a notification when I upload my next lessons. If you're new to my channel, you can follow all my previous useful GIS tips and tricks from the links in the descriptions below. Let's get started. So flow maps are a type of thematic maps used in cartography to show the movement of objects between different areas. It can be migration data of people, animal, or products. So the points to note are the magnitude in the flow line is represented by the thickness. 2, they are drawn from a point of origin. And 3, arrows can be used to show direction of movement. So let's go to QGIS and look at today's exercise. So I'll open QGIS and we'll create a new blank project. For my case, I've already created a new blank project here. We're going to start by adding some world layer in QGIS. So below here, you can see I have coordinates, the coordinate section. I'm going to just delete everything there and type the word world so that I can bring in a temporary layer for the world. Now we have the world shapefile on our QGIS. Now I'm going to look at the attribute table to see what information my attribute table has. And you can see it has the names of the countries. This is very, very good actually. We have the names of the countries, and then we have just other country codes and all that. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to create centroids out of my polygon layer. You can see these are polygons. So I'm going to create centroids. How do we create centroids? We'll go to vector. Then we're going to go to the geometry tools. Then under the geometry tools, you can see the first tab is the centroid. So I'm going to select centroids. Then my input layer in this is the world map. Then I'm going to just create temporary layers for the centroids. So I'm just going to click on run to create temporary layer. And you can see I have centroids for all my data here. So now that we have the centroids, I can even actually remove the world map here, but I don't want to remove it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a little bit of edit in my centroids. When I look at the centroids, it still has the same information, but the only difference is that it has some FID here. So I'm actually interested with the names of these points only. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some little bit of edit. I'm going to delete all these other columns and remain with only the name column, and maybe say only the name column is okay. So I'm just going to remain with the name column. So I'm going to click on the yellow pencil here in the toggle edit. Then everything here now becomes active. So I'm going to delete fields, and I'm going to delete the FID, the ISO, everything else. I'm just going to remain with the name. So I'm just going to say okay, and I now have the names only. So I'm going to click on save, and then stop editing, and now I have my centroids have actually the names of the different countries. So each and every dot here represent each and every country in the world. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to now actually look at I'm going to actually now add the geometry attributes for my points. I want to know the X coordinates and the Y coordinates of whatever information I have created here. So I'm going to open the attribute table again. And then now we want to add another column here. So in these, in the tabs here, you will see there's a tab here called Open Field Calculator. So you're going to select Open Field Calculator because we want to now calculate the geometries of all these. And we're going to create a new field here. The field name is going to be, we are going to start with the longitude or the X coordinate. So X coordinate. And for this one, I'm going to call it the destination. X coordinate destination. No, it can actually be a decimal number. So I'm going to put it to 4 decimal places. Then I am going to now come here and look for the geometry, and then I'm going to look for the X with a dollar sign. So X with a dollar sign, which means it's the coordinate, the X coordinate. So I'm going to select it and add it into my formula here. Then I'm just going to say okay, and it will actually populate my X coordinate, and you can see the X coordinate destination. Then the next thing we want to do is, now we want to have a Y coordinate destination. So I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back to my open field calculator again. Then this time is the Y coordinate, and this is also my destination. So it's a decimal number again, and then I'm going to put it to 4 decimal places. Then I'm going to now go to these operations here. I'm going to look for the geometry, and then I'm going to look for the Y with a dollar sign. So I'm going to select Y. This is Y, and you see it returns the Y coordinate of the current feature. So I'm going to double click on it to just bring it to the formula here, and then click on OK. And you see now it has populated the Y coordinate of my destination. So for my origin, I want these goods or whatever kind of movement you want to show, I want it to come from somewhere. So I want it to come from Kenya, which is my country, to all these other parts of the world. I want everything, like if it's for the goods, or maybe say people or flights or something like that, or the products moving from Kenya, which is my country, to all these other kind of regions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now look at the coordinates of Kenya and see what are the coordinates of Kenya, and that will be my origin coordinate. So in this case, we need to actually have the origin coordinates and the destination coordinates. For the destinations, you've already gotten them, and they are for all of the different countries in the world. So what I want to do is now I want to put the origin coordinate. So I'm also going to go back to here, and then I'm going to create now a new column here again. So I'm going to just create a new column here and call it the X coordinate origin. Then this is the X coordinate origin. Then this is it's also a decimal number. I'm going to put it to 4 decimal places. Then I'm going to click on OK. So now we have the X coordinate origin. All of them are null. After creating the X coordinate origin, we're also going to create a Y coordinate origin, because we want them to originate from one region, which is Kenya, and go to all these other regions. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to create another column here for the Y coordinate origin. Then it's a decimal number, then it's to 4 decimal places, and everything is okay here now. So I have the X coordinate origin, Y coordinate origin. I already have the X coordinate destination and the Y coordinate destination. So what I want to do is I want to autofill my X coordinate origin with the coordinates of Kenya here. This is Kenya. So this is my point of origin. This is actually where everything is actually originating from. First of all, I'm going to just look for where Kenya is. So I'm just going to scroll down here. I can actually even just arrange them in ascending and descending order. So I'm going to look for Kenya, which is K. And we have Kenya here. And the X coordinate destination now will be our origin, because we are actually originating from Kenya to all the other parts of the world. So I'm going to copy the X coordinate of Kenya. So I'm going to copy cell content. Then I want to autofill it here. So how do I do that? I'm going to go to now, and just below the toolbar, I'm going to select now the x coordinate origin, which is equal to, I can use an expression here, but I can just paste that coordinates, but now I need to paste it with single quotes for it to work. So the x coordinate origin is equal to 37.8228 for x. So I want actually everything here to be 37.822. So I am going to update all because I have already selected the x origin. I'm going to update all, not update selected, because if I just say update selected, it will only select update this selected. So I want it to update all this column. So I'm just going to click on update all, and it actually updates the whole column with this value. Now I want now to do the same thing to the y coordinate. So I'm going to select the y coordinate in the drop down here is equal to, and then I'm going to look at Kenya again, the y coordinate destination. I'm going to copy the cell content 0.5509. Then I'm going to paste it here, and I have it here now. Make sure that it has a single quotes. Then I'm going to say update all again, and you can see now I have updated the x origin and the y origin with the coordinates of Kenya. So the next thing I want to do is I want now to create my flow map. So if you want to create your flow map, you will need to install a plugin into QGIS that is going to help you create the flow map. And the plugin that you're going to install is called the shape tool. So I'm going to close this. I'm actually going to click on save edits. Then I'm going to stop editing. So I have my x coordinate destination, y coordinate destination, x coordinate origin, and y coordinate origin. The x coordinate origin and y coordinate origin is the same point. So the destination is now what is different. So I'm going to click on close. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to now install the plugin that is going to help us in creating our flow map. So I'm going to go to plugin, manage and install plugins. Then I'm going to search under all for the shape tools, and you can see I have shape tools here. I have already installed it. If you haven't installed it, you can actually install it by selecting the shape tools and installing the plugin. I can even see there is a new version available, so I'm going to just upgrade my plugin. I'm going to click on upgrade, and it will pretty take a very short time to upgrade my plugin. And you can see the shape tool is a collection of geodesic shapes and tools creates. So you can actually just read through these, and the tool that you're actually interested in is the tool which is include the XY to line. So we are very interested in this tool here. So I'm going to click on close after I have installed my plugin. Then my plugin has been installed on my computer. I think it's here. You can see it has so many functionalities. So we're now going to go to the next step, which is now creating our flow map. We're going to be using these centroids, which are still temporary layers. You can make them permanent if you want. So for us to create very nice flow maps, this being our point of origin and all these others being our point of destination, they might be flights, they might be products and everything, or migration of just people. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the geoprocessing toolbox. Then I'm going to look for the shape tool. And you can see the shape tool has so many functionalities. What you're interested in is the XY to line. So you can even type here XY to line if you want. XY to line. And then you can see I recently used it, so I'm going to just select it. It's under the vector geometry. So I'm just going to select it. Then the input layer is the centroids for the all of these countries. Then the input coordinate system, I'm going to just leave them the way they are, like that. The PSG 4326, which is the geographic coordinate system. Then I'm going to scroll down, and then there is a line type. I'm going to select, instead of geodesic, I'm going to select great circle. Then I'm going to scroll down again here. What is your start X field, which is the longitude? What is the start? Where are we starting from? I'm going to select the X coordinate, the origin, which is our start point. Then start Y, which is the latitude. I'm going to now select the Y coordinate, which is our origin. So we have already put our starting points. Now we're going to the end points. Now the end points, the X is now going to be the X coordinate destination. Then the end Y field is going to be the Y coordinate destination. So we are moving from this origin to this destination. Then I'm going to say, I'm going to leave everything else the way it is. Then I'm just going to say run. And it will take a little bit of time to just process whatever you put in there. And then it says the XY2 line has finished, the logarithm has finished. So I'm going to click on close, and wow, you can see now we have very, very nice lines moving from our point of origin to the destination, to the different destinations in the world. So we want to actually even look at these points we talked about. The magnitude of the flow is represented by the thickness. So we want to look at this thickness. How can we add this element of thickness so that you can actually see which areas actually have more flow than others? So what I'm going to do here, in my flow line now that I have, I'm going to open the attribute table. So what I want to do is I want to add another column here that I'm going to just assume some values of frequency from 1 to 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now start editing again. And then I'm going to create a field here, and I'm going to call it, I can call it frequency, maybe frequency. It's a whole number, 10, then okay. Now I'm going to just autofill some numbers here for 1 to 9 using an assumption. I'm just going to do them randomly. So I'm going to be selecting maybe say 20 countries like this, shift. So I'm going to be selecting like this, and then I say maybe for the first 34 countries that I've selected, I'm going to give them a frequency of maybe 1. So I'm going to go and select here the frequency. Then I'm going to use quotes now again, single quotes. Then I'm going to put 1 for, now I'm going to say only update the selected, because I just want to update the selected ones with a frequency of maybe say 1. So I'm going to say update selected, like that, and you see it has updated the selected ones. So I'm going to actually repeat this process for the remaining rows. So just, I'm going to fast forward here. Now that I've created this column of frequency with just my numbers that I did an assumption of, this is not real data actually, it's just data that I'm going to use because of class purposes. So we want to just say maybe this is a frequency of maybe say the movement of products from within these lines now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to do some little bit of symbology so that actually whatever I have created here now looks a little bit better. So I'm going to save, and in my output line I'm going to now go to properties. So under the properties we want to do a little bit of changes. It's a single symbol, so everything is actually just selected as a simple line like that. So we want to do a little bit of change here so that we can actually look at the magnitude. And for us to be able to look at the magnitude, you're going to look at the, instead of a single symbol, you're going to look at the graduated symbol. Then what value are you graduating? So we're going to select the frequency so that the regions with the higher frequency will have a thicker line, and the ones that have a lower frequency will have a smaller line. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just first leave these as a line, then the format as the format. Then instead of under the method here, instead of the color, I'm going to choose size. So a 0.01 size is a smaller magnitude, and a 2.2 file, a 0.2 size is of a bigger magnitude. Then I'm going to just come here and say equal interval, and you can see it has already classified for me. So the smaller regions have actually a very thin line, and then the higher magnitudes have a thicker line. I'm going to leave the classes as 5. I'm going to click on apply. Okay, and you can now see we have them actually classified into that. So I can actually even uncheck some of these, and you can actually be able to see that the bigger the magnitude, the thickness shows the magnitude of the movement from my point of origin to my destination. So you can see this other destinations have a smaller frequency of migration. So the next thing I'm going to do is, instead of even using these, I want to make it even a bit more interesting. I want to now use, instead of having them to just be simple lines, I want to use arrows. So I'm still going to go back to properties. Then now the symbol, I'm going to actually now delete all. Then the symbol that I'm going to be using here again, now instead of this just simple line, I'm actually going to select an arrow. So I'm going to select the simple line, then I'm going to select an arrow on the symbol layer type. Then I'm going to make sure that there is no repeat. You see repeat arrows on each segment, so I'm going to uncheck that so that it doesn't repeat the arrows. Then I'm going to also uncheck the curved arrows, then okay. Then I'm going to now say apply. Oh, sorry, I'm going to actually classify them first here. I can even change the color, so I'm going to classify them. Then I'm going to say apply, okay, and you can now see they have the different arrows showing the movement. So if I went back here and said under the properties of the simple arrow, I want it to be curved a bit, then okay. Then I'm going to delete all, then reclassify them. Apply, okay, and now I have my curved arrows very nicely curved, showing the movement of whatever goods or anything within the different regions. So that's it for today's exercise. If you found this video useful and you want to learn more on QGIS, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'm just happy you're here. See you in my next video.